Somebody asked me what I thought was the single most important trait that one needed to be successful in teaching oneself languages. And when I get questions like that, I'm inclined to think, well, there's generally not one size fits all answer. There's a number of traits that are very important, and it depends on which ones you might be lacking to say that this one is most important for you to develop. But just my observation from the majority of people who ask questions like that and are concerned to get advice and would like to try and implement things is that the thing that seems to be missing most often is systematic regularity. I do think I would say that in general, the most important trait that I see lacking in people who are trying to teach themselves a language or doing something like that is just a failure to develop any sort of regular, systematic, daily practice. I would say that's the cornerstone of my success. That's how I finally got somewhere and really achieved things and felt good about myself in my scholarly regime. And it's not as if I just always did that, or that I decided I wanted to be systematic regular and just did it. I went through a number of years when I was younger of striving to do it and failing and getting frustrated with myself, but ultimately just trying again and again, and ultimately developing that, just really getting into the habit of doing the same thing at the same time every day. And if that's a good habit, like sitting down to study something, you really can achieve a great deal with that kind of focused application that you cannot achieve by giving a lot more time and energy when you're not focused on it and when you're distracted and when you're just doing something in sort of an irregular time. I wanted to do this and I didn't get to it yet, so here I'm going to sit down and put all my energy into it. When it comes to studying, obviously, what that's going to turn into is people trying to do a couple of hours a week, say, and rather than doing that in 20-minute chunks each day, they try to do it in a 2-hour chunk on a Saturday afternoon. And it just doesn't work that way. And the secret to sort of not needing to struggle to get things done is to have them become a habit, just have it become a regular habit. And so, yeah, that would be my advice to anybody who is trying to do something that, involves self-discipline and application and trying to improve yourself and teach yourself something, is that we spend a lot of time talking about different methods and different techniques and different things we can do. And yes, some are more effective than others. And you don't want to spend all of your time every day doing the same thing if it's not effective. But I think doing that is the best way to realize if something's effective or not, particularly if you work at something every single day and get no results, and that's a sign that you should change and do something else. But yeah, I would say that thinking of all the people who've done consultations with me and asked me for advice, and also people that I observe doing very well in their studies, and ones that do that do it daily. And so I just would urge anybody who wants to feel less frustrated with his progress in teaching himself a language to look at your daily patterns, your daily way of doing it, and just really try to really get in the habit of doing something at the same time and the same place every day. And somehow, by hook or by crook, keep that up for a substantial period of time, and you will observe results. And I think that kind of thing is sort of self-propelling. And so that would be advice too, is that if you're very ambitious, and the kind of people that I talk to often are, I think one reason is, as I mentioned, when I was younger and trying to develop regular systematic habits and failing to do it, I think if I analyze why, it's because I was maybe aiming too high, trying to set up a whole program a daily pattern to do everything on a systematic daily basis at the same time every day. And that's a hard thing to do if you haven't done that. That's something you can work up to. So just taking one thing and making sure that it becomes as a regular habit as something you would never fail to do. And if you can prove that to yourself. And again, the thing that I have advocated to people is that a chunk of time, like 15 minutes for working through the type of manual that I like, those Assimil manuals that I made a video about, studying less than 15 minutes a day, that would be a great habit in and of itself to teach yourself the language, but also to teach yourself the discipline. I think that the nice thing about things like systematic daily habits are that they're transferable skills from one activity to another. So studying the language would be a particularly good way of proving the value of systematic, regular daily practice. And then once you've done that, that would be something that you could transfer to other areas as well. So that's my answer to the question that I got of what I think is the most important trait that one needs for success in autodidactic language study. And that would be to look at your habits and see if you are doing it every day in the same place at the same time. And if not, work towards that. And hopefully that will work for you. Thank you for listening, and I appreciate the interest that people have in my channel and the advice that I have to give. And I have a language academy, as I'm sure you know, where people can ask me this kind of question and interact with me live in various kinds of classes. So I always extend an invitation at this point. If you're at all intrigued to see what's going on, you're welcome to come by for a visit before you sign up for anything. So give that a thought. Thank you very much for listening, and I will talk to you next week.